Do not attempt to adjust your speakers. The sounds that you're about to hear are various sounds that come from a human's mouth. So this is what we came with.
So when is the lip sync battle again?
May 15th.
15th. I was going to say 15th or 16th. Is
15th,
that, whatever that Thursday is.
May 15th at Victoria Inn Grand Salon.
Yeah. Oh, we're in recording. We can
Ladies and
advertise this
gentlemen, if
already.
you haven't heard of the lip sync battle, Westmen Brandon edition. Now you know. May 15th, it's happening. This is like the 8th year?
8th.
6th year. 6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. Yeah. I don't know.
Like we've done since the first one.
You've been
in almost every year. So all the year except the COVID year.
Well, it took a 2-year break.
Yeah, so COVID years, 2 year, COVID year, we weren't there.
And 2017, 18 would be 2018 would be the first year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a couple years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 29 of For the Record podcast. Here we are. My name is Ronnie Monraj, and I have Joey Sims.
I'm still here.
Along with a special guest for you here today, we have Stacy Gabriel.
Do we have one of those?
I need
I don't know
to
if we
get
had-
some sort of intro.
Oh, you heard
song.
an intro song? We need a walkout?
Yeah.
But yes, thanks for coming, Stacy. Appreciate it. I just called her up last week and was like, hey, or actually, no. Yeah, last week I told her, should we get you on a podcast? And then yesterday I told her, hey, you want to come on a podcast tomorrow?
That was like, sometime you should come on the podcast.
And then tomorrow.
It was tomorrow.
It was a call yesterday. You should come tomorrow. But, yeah.
But you aren't dizzy or anything like that.
Yeah,
You're just
no.
Good.
flexible. You can just come up
Very
anytime.
flexible. Yeah, no. So if you don't know Stacy, the very few of you who don't know Stacy that are listening to us, tell us about yourself, Stacy. What do you do?
I feel like if you know these guys, then
You know, yeah, yeah.
Just
Our circle's pretty
part
small.
of the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a photographer, and yeah, that's what I've been doing.
That's like
My
the
elevator
shortest
pitch is not
intro.
very good.
It's
That's
okay.
like the shortest intro.
I do weddings, families, babies, all the photo things.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
been doing it forever. So
when did you start?
I actually posted when you look back at your Facebook memories, and usually they're very embarrassing.
Very cringe.
But I saw 16 years ago, I posted looking for models, families, whatever, and totally free. So let me know if you want to do
That
photo
is
shoot. And I
so
thought that
cool.
was really cool.
It's like
right?
it's a nice time machine to look back on. It's like, holy cow, this is where I started.
Yeah, like
so cool.
time went by very quickly, but I pretty much never looked back. Just been doing it since that day.
We've talked lots, and like Ronnie's been doing, are you about 16 years ish too?
15, yeah.
So around the same.
2009, so 16 almost, yeah.
Crazy. So in that time, we've had talks about like the evolution of DJing, like all time, in the time that he's done it till now, just different things like that. In terms of photography, like I'm sure you've had different. One evolution in terms of like technology and editing, all those things, that's probably changed a lot, but also like what you've liked to do. Like, was it you're like, I like families and stuff like that.
Man.
Now you're like, I like weddings, and like, I'm sure you like it all to some extent, but do you have like preferences, and does it come and
How
go?
has it changed?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So like I would say for the first even 10 years, I took anything anybody would like. You want to take a picture of this? Yes. Families, weddings, babies, your grandma. Like one time I actually had somebody ask me if I would photograph their dog's birth.
Ooh.
I didn't do that one.
Wow.
But in that general
Wild.
time, I was, yes, you need photos of anything at all. Like, I am there.
I'm blown away. And I love my dog. Ron, do you love your dog?
I love my dog, but
Yeah.
no.
You
Little
got
newborn
cats. You
photo.
got cat. You love your cats? Yeah. Would
Yeah.
I
you?
have 2 dogs as well.
Two dogs too? Okay. Well, you got a funny farm. We all got animals here.
Yeah.
If I don't even need to go on down that avenue. That is a whole nother level.
Then people want photos of a lot of things. And for the, like, when you're building up your skills, you can't be picky. You just
Except for dog births. You drew the line at dog births.
Maybe I was sick that day. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
I'm so sick. I'm dying. It's
Crazy. Yeah. Just let your dog know next time I'll be available. Yeah.
I don't know what time that would happen at, or like how long it would
Of a
take.
process that
Yeah,
is.
you got to be just ready, like on call for that. That's
It's
crazy.
happening.
It's like not a doctor, but photographer on call.
Crazy.
So I still remember you had a gray. What car was it? It's a Civic. You had a Civic, or
Are we
what?
talking first car?
Yeah, the first car with the Stacy, the red Stacy
man.
loose
Yeah.
logo on it.
It was a Hyundai Accent.
Yes.
A red, rusty Hyundai Accent that I paid $800 for.
Okay.
But I can't believe you brought that up because, because the pride that I felt driving that car, like windows down, summer day, like I was like waving to people, like so proud. And yes, it had my name all across it.
And had a little heart on it.
It was deckled. It was logoed.
And I still remember it's a teal on the lens and or black or red on the camera or somewhere.
A pink heart with my name in blue.
On it, yes.
Yeah, so pink and blue was.
And now, it's like, you probably would be caught dead, like advertise your business in a rusted out.
Oh my God.
Or the heart, the heart is still in the logo at some level. I feel like, the heart's there.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So yes, I just started out. You know what? I just honestly had to work really hard for everything that I've ever
Of course.
got, right? And so when I saved up that $800 and bought that car, it was just like, I did this. I built this logo and this brand, and like, you know, it's kind of working. And so I'm going to just, I don't know. I was always just so proud of it. And then, so that I kind of just gradually moved up. Right. With my, like, I have like a series of cars that just gradually got a little bit more reliable.
You had to show for weddings on time. And
that's good.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
the reason I knew about the car is at around the same time, I think she lived somewhere close to Princess East, I think. I seen that car drive by a few times just in the neighborhood, or maybe she's just there. I lived on Princess East, so every time I would just come down towards First Street, I would either see the car parked or it was just
clearly
driving
worked.
It
worked.
It always did. It always did. So
wait, hold up. Before we get too far into the thick of it of this podcast, we want to stop and hear a word from our sponsors. By sponsors, I mean us. We're the sponsors. Hey, it's 2024. Just kidding. It's 2025. It's new year. But same old Trident, where we're going to give you the best photo booth experience at your next event. Look, we know how crazy it is to keep track of photos. People were doing hashtags a while ago, trying to keep track of all those things on social media. How about you just get a professional photo booth with lighting, with a backdrop, with a professional camera, and we get all that gathered up to you in a nice, neat gallery, user-friendly. We can have those things printed. We can have them sent right to your phone. However you want it, we offer it with Trident Photo Booths. Follow us on social media or visit us at tridentphotobooths.ca, and we will be at your next event.
But the rebrand happened before the wedding or after the wedding? Because it went from Stacy Luce to Stacy Gabriel.
Right.
So when did that happen? That was before or after?
What?
Like after the wedding?
A rebrand you're talking?
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming she didn't change her name before the wedding.
Well,
right.
I'm assuming like there's in the sense of there's a little bit of I got to plan for this, right? Because it's you're engaged, you're planning a wedding, and you got to plan for it, right?
Okay, so that's interesting. So the Hyundai Accent was long gone by this time. I actually got a Grand Am after that.
Was the Grand Am the gray one?
The gray.
Okay, so I think I saw the gray one. Yeah. The Grand Am was the one I saw more of.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't see the Hyundai Accent.
Grand Am, and then I went into
my Honda. Because I always remember
era.
the silver car.
But
I love it.
Yeah, so when I was kind of suspecting that the time was coming that I might be changing my name, it's kind of a weird thing to go about, right? Because you're like, I've hustled so hard at this name, and but I thought that I will be Stacy Gabriel more long term,
right?
Like
Which
I was just
sense,
like, we're still going ahead.
Yeah.
So I I'm just trying to remember the exact moment that I changed my branding, but I may have changed the name of my Instagram earlier. But then I didn't come out with the new logo and like officially do it until we were like Facebook official married.
Yeah.
You know, like changed my name on Facebook.
So now that what does it look like in a season of Stacy Gabriel's photography? Like, how does like winter look? How does spring look? How does summer look? How does fall look? What do you keep yourself busy with?
Okay, well, I am quite busy throughout the year now, and I definitely don't say yes to every single thing anymore, which is lovely. So, and I do feel like I kind of have more of a handle on what I would like to do in each season. So, you know, back in the day during the winter time, like the Honda X8 Grand Am era, I would just go and work a part-time job somewhere during the winter to kind of get me through because obviously I wasn't as busy as I am now. But so now, like spring, right? It's busy here. So I'm still doing a lot of studio stuff like babies and newborns and stuff in my studio.
Yeah,
and
they're birthed all year round.
Yeah.
they are. Yes.
Babies are born all year round.
May and June is solid grads every single day. So
Right.
that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And then I've actually kind of, now that I've been in the business so long, I've kind of realized that I want to take some more summers to myself. So I took about 7 weddings this year, which is to me the perfect number. So we're gonna have that time to go to our camper and like do all that kind of stuff. So weddings and camper will be like the summer hot months. Fall, I do a lot of like, well, obviously fall sessions. Everybody wants family mostly in the fall. And then during the winter, babies, studio work. But I've also really gotten into sports photography. So
Yes, you have with the teams and stuff like that. And is that just kind of come hand in hand with your kids getting older?
Yeah, like, and I don't want to offend anybody, but like, I always thought that sports photographers were washed up. I was like, no, I would never do that. I just don't want to. I don't see any excitement. It's all the same. It's boring and blah. And I don't want to do it. And then my son joined hockey, and then I was like, whoa, like there's a lot of passion that goes into this, a lot of time spent, 7 a.m. hockey games, and it's just like a lot of pride and hard work, obviously. So that kind of like fueled that new area for me that I was like, I'm going to do it. And so my son's hockey team actually asked me to do their photos. So I just did them. I was like, oh, they're so cute. So then I was like, let's do it. And then just more and more started calling. And I was like, yes, I will do it.
That's awesome.
That's
cool. That's cool. So babies, weddings. So weddings are something that we do a lot of, right? So why
we don't do DJ too many like first birthdays or any of those. Yeah, we're mostly in the wedding. Thanks for clarifying though.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah,
but when you say you wanted to reduce the amount of weddings and you know do like take a good amount that gives you some time as well.
It's just balance,
right? Yeah. So what led you to get there? What was just because kids are getting older?
Definitely, and just when I look back and because my oldest is 16, and I just think about all the things that I've missed over the years, like family reunions or just like beach days and camping and all that kind of stuff. So that was just kind of like, okay, now I have enough business to get me through the whole year. It's not as crucial, right? To just use one season as much as I can. And so it's just finding that balance that I can still be present with my family, but also enjoy my life with my family. Like, I feel like in the wedding industry, we spend a lot of time celebrating with other people, their amazing times. And we love that. We're so excited. We're like, New Year's Eve, we're with you and all those things. But then after a certain amount of years, you're just like, well, I just want to be with my family on New Year's, right? So it's balance.
Yeah, I think I was, ever since I started DJing in 2009, every New Year's Eve, I was out of the house. Not a single New Year's Eve was I home. Only one New Year's Eve, Salome came with me to go, and my parents never spent New Year's Eve with me ever. And then 2020 happened, and everybody's at home. And we're all at home. No New Year's Eve party happening. And New Year's Eve, we just celebrated at home. And it was nothing special. We're not like we had people over or anything. It's just us at home with our dog. And that's when it clicked in my head. I'm like, holy shit. I've been doing, parties outside on New Year's Eve. And all of a sudden, one New Year's Eve, I was just at home. And it was just like, this is different.
Yeah.
I like this. I would like to do this. So, and then I did one more New Year's Eve 2021, and that was it. I haven't done one since 2022, 2023, 2024. I haven't done a single New Year's Eve.
It's
so
like
I
you
was
don't
like,
really realize.
I'd like to stay home, please. It was fun. So
Just putting value. You guys have more experience in the event industry than I do, but learning balance, learning priorities at different times. Like and when you've done it long enough and you have the flexibility to make your own schedule a little bit, right? I compare it a little bit to like farming. Like farmers know that there are these months that are going to be, and they just like, you can't really get around that.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Seeding is
You have to
seeding.
make hay when
Summers,
it's
yeah.
Exactly. It's very like calving is calving. All these times you just kind of block it off.
Yeah.
And outside of that, and that way you can kind of do that. So I think a lot of people in the event industry get locked into, they're like, look, summer is wedding time.
Yeah.
And they're right. Like for years, you probably were like, hey, I'm going to
Absolutely.
load
I
this
said
up.
yes.
Yeah.
If anybody was asking
I'm going to
me,
load it up.
yes.
And that's not wrong. I think that's good, obviously, to build up a portfolio, build up all these things. But at some point, whether it be, there's some sort of thing, whether it's just fatigue from the job, whether it's kids, whether it's just other things and events, you're just like, okay, there's value in not saying yes and the paycheck and all those things to whether it be a stress level thing, whether it be a family time thing, right? So,
and that was a very hard thing to realize and make that change because I just I tend to be a people pleaser, right? And I'm just like, yes, I want to just make all of my clients so happy, and yes, I'll be there for you. But then I was just starting to realize, like, man, I haven't seen like my parents in a while, and because they can only go on weekends, right? So when we're working all the time,
Yeah. So I think everybody sort of in the industry, especially, we go through that full hustle mode. Like we're like work, and then it slowly starts fading away because it's just like, okay, maybe there's a little bit more outside of work. Maybe there's this, maybe there's that. So I get it. I totally understand.
it's also like figuring out balance with like, especially in a partnership, right? If you're married, right, what your partner does as well.
Yeah.
Like it just sometimes works to have one person's got this super flexible schedule. One person's got like, if your family, it's just like, hey, we know that weekends are this time. It's just go for Stacy. And then we know that later on, it's not going to be so go, right?
now.
Right? There's this understanding, right? Like, now that
can we have a family reunion on a Tuesday?
oh, come on, please. Yeah. When do weddings start? Please get married on a Tuesday.
Exactly. The amount of times I've thought about them, like, guys, can we just do this on a Monday or Tuesday?
Please.
Like, I was so down. I'm so free on a Monday or Tuesday.
Yes, people are like, you're never available. Well, you're the one who's not available at 2:00.
Yeah, well, that too, right? It's just
I'm very available.
Christine, a lot of times, like jokingly, but also serious, she's just like, I just wrote you off. I assumed you're working this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ha ha, tongue in cheek, whatever. But like it's fair.
The reality.
It's fair.
It is the
right?
reality.
And it's one of those things too, right? You actually probably differently than us. Like weddings for you are definitely an all day thing. Sometimes stuff is starting for us until like 5, 6, 7 o'clock.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it's almost like sometimes I'll be like, I'm still available. Like I can still do things and during the day, and then I also stupidly think that I could still do stuff on the Sunday, but then I'm out until 4 a.m.
Oh, wedding hangover is real.
Right? You're like, oh, well, I work Saturday, but I don't have to work Sunday, and you're not well.
You're
well
barely not moving.
Yeah. Exactly.
But what does this year look like for you work-wise? What do you look forward to?
Yeah, you said less weddings, right?
Yeah, like I don't even want to say like less, like I'm not doing too many, but I would say the perfect amount of weddings. Like ideally I'd do 2 a month.
Okay.
And then, the rest of the weekends I'm like crossed off. And I've actually made the change, like even for photo shoots, I'm not taking any weekend photo shoots anymore. And like Sundays are totally my day, so I don't do those anymore. So yeah, I just feel like I have really good structure right now. I'm good. Probably feeling like I have the most handle on it that I've ever felt. So I feel like just good balance. I'm happy with everything that I'm doing, and summer will be weddings, the odd evening shoots, and then camping, fishing.
You're gonna be loud and high, loud and high, loud.
Right?
So we do
100%.
this all the time too. And again, when Shona was here, when Danielle was there, when Lori was here, we all did this. Horror stories.
Oh goodness.
There are things that we see as wedding vendors in the industry that we think are just one of a kind because
Yes.
it's not something you see outside of it. And there are things that we can't talk about sometimes because it's like that crazy stuff happened. So
Well, what's also okay, but before we preface this, and I'm sure you might have one that, and honestly, I think one or two of the ones you've told has involved like you guys were at the same wedding potentially. I'm not sure. I always love that where you're just like, oh, such and such was the photographer. I was just like, oh, I want to hear their perspective sometimes too. I'm not sure if we were at the same one, but
do you have any of us together?
together, no.
well, let's just think. But anyways,
No.
the part about horror stories that are so funny is, yeah, sometimes it's actually because it's like crazy. Like the one Shona told about the guy slamming
The guy
his,
slamming his head in
Slamming his head in the cake.
So I actually listened to that podcast
Yeah.
the night before you called me, and I was just like, "Oh my
That's
gosh.
crazy.
And then your wind story. I was on your Facebook so fast trying to find your post because you said it was on your Facebook, and I could not find it.
There's a reel coming out. You'll see it, and the photos in there.
Oh,
it is crazy.
my gosh.
But the part about horror story is just because not that what we do is mundane or repetitive,
Yeah.
but right, we just kind of get in. For you go and you get to the getting ready, and then you have the family, and then there's this, and it's just that.
Yeah.
And when something just sticks out so crazy that just kind of throws you for a loop, it's just like it's super memorable. And whether it's positive, and for a lot of us
So
in this case, negative.
So,
sometimes.
so
Oh,
just so
man.
you can react to this too. So this is the before, and this is the after. Okay, before,
Okay, nice party.
after.
Oh my gosh.
It's from the same corner, close to the same corner
Okay,
where I
so
was in.
you talked a lot about the groom, but how is the bride in this situation?
Like again, it's their tent. So it's Jenna and Josh's tent. They're Good Heart Rentals. So they were like, honestly, Jenna was like, from what I could tell, it is what it is kind of thing. So she was not worried about it at all.
That is not. It is what it is.
Our tent
Dude, I'm
blew
telling
away.
you, by that time where you see the lights in there, like it was, they had hot dogs on a barbecue grill and whatnot. So it was like, it was
Taking
crazy.
lemons
It's
up,
the same
lemonade
guy
out of
too.
lemons.
So funny enough, so this is Mackenzie. So this is that's him. Okay. And then the next.
they went on to own a
that's not
tent
that's not
rental
that's not
business
so
after this?
that's the brother.
Oh.
Sorry.
But they already owned it. Like,
yeah,
they
all
owned the tents.
And then that's him moving the poster.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was craziness that
It
day.
concerned me the way Shona react to, and she's like, "You are lucky."
Because those are big ass
Oh
stakes.
man.
But yeah, what do you got?
Oh.
Any times where you're just like,
Okay, well, when I listened to your stories, you guys were like, those were nice stories because they didn't involve you at all. Like you didn't do anything, and I was like trying to think of. I'm like, okay, so
well,
what's,
we can do ones where
what's-
we've screwed up if you want to hear that too.
Because
yeah.
my two stories that I could think of, I actually even messaged my 2 second shooters, Alyssa and Julie, yesterday. I was like, what horror stories do we have? And I feel like when I think of the weddings themselves, like, yeah, we've dealt with storms or like tents with completely mud floors, or I remember we did a wedding together when we were somewhere by Minnedosa, like way in a small town. It was Carrie and anyway, and it was pouring rain. Remember, we had to drive back, and I ended up getting lost and had to pull into a farmhouse.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know where I am because my GPS wouldn't connect.
Oh
anyway,
my
and had to
God.
like knock on there because I was like, well, there's one little light on. I guess I'm gonna go in there at like 11 o'clock at night. But then my phone ended up picking up his Wi-Fi. So I was like, boom, back to Brandon, let's go. Anyway, that's not my story. But yeah, I just feel like I couldn't think of anything that was really funny that didn't involve me, but I have like 2 embarrassing stories.
Sure.
Great.
Story number one.
Give
Go
us
for
like
it.
1 or 2, both, all the whatever. Okay.
Okay.
We will be, and we'll give some commentary along the sides, just from, I don't know, not that we were there, but I just wanted to, go ahead.
Okay, so I looked it up today. So this is 2017. Okay, so it was a beautiful.
How long have you been doing photos by this point? Are you well experienced?
Yeah,
Like,
well, I
almost
would
10
say,
years.
yeah, 2009 was when I was starting. So 2010, probably my
about
first
8
wedding.
years, 8 years.
We're
Experience.
in. We got
8 years,
this.
yeah.
It's just a wedding,
It was
yeah.
a beautiful day. Okay, and so I can say their names, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
be
Apparently.
because this is a funny. It's so bad.
Unless they were snorting cocaine in the bathroom, which I
No,
can't say the
they
names
were
of.
not.
But
They were not. Okay, so Carrie and Paul Bacon. That's their names. Okay.
Great.
Lovely couple. And it was a beautiful wedding. It was at Dansland, and it was so nice. Anyways, so we were doing the family photos, right? So I had probably like 20 of the family members all lined up, and I'm like, you can stand here, you can go over here, and Paul was nowhere to be seen. And so I was like, whatever, we'll just make a space for him. So then I was like, got everybody ready, got the parents here. And then I was like, all right, everybody. And so when he gets back, Kevin can stand here.
Kevin Bacon. Yes.
And the whole
Kevin
family,
Bacon.
they were like, you mean Paul?
That's so good.
And like called him Kevin. And
Kevin Bacon.
in
Kevin
front of
Bacon.
and I should have definitely known my groom's name. So that was like,
At least she waited for him.
Yeah.
Oh.
At least she
At
waited
least
for
it
him.
was not something stupid and it was like
That's
Kevin
not
Bacon.
stupid.
It's Kevin Bacon. Come on now.
That's so good. That's funny.
they died.
Yeah, of
They were
course.
just like, oh, you should have said Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh.
The old wrong name. We both earlier episodes told wrong name
of the
name stories.
bride.
We've been there.
Like we.
Okay, yeah, I guess you guys deal with that all the time. I don't deal with
We've pronounced the name on. Okay, at least it was just the family with 10 people there in front of
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, Mr. and
On the
Mrs.
microphone to 200
wrong
people
name.
is.
that. Okay, I kind of laugh when I hear that.
That's so
God.
exactly. You know,
It is the most nerve-wracking thing.
That's
Is
so
it
good,
on the
that's so good.
microphone when you're yelling it so confidently into the
I guess
mic.
maybe I had a taste of that because that doesn't normally happen to
Yeah.
photographers. So, okay.
But you
yes.
switched the name completely.
I did, and I came up with a celebrity.
I love it. It's just
Carrie and
inherent.
Kevin Bacon. Oh my God.
Can you imagine if you did that on the speaker?
So good.
So-
So good. And you have another one,
That
and then
will
I have
haunt me
one.
forever.
I have one that I want you to tell. We haven't told here that's so good. And,
Got it.
I think I'm yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you have another one? What is your other one?
Okay, so my other one, it kind of changed the questions that I ask at my
Questionnaire.
meetings,
Yeah.
right? Because
Ooh, okay.
okay, so this family, okay, in the morning, his parents were together at the getting ready house, and like I'd spent all day with them.
I already know what you're gonna get
Okay.
at. Go
Oh,
ahead.
gosh.
This is great. Because from a word you just said, keep going.
Yeah,
This is so
okay.
good.
So then again, it's family photo time. I think it's family photo time is like where I'm like game on and I'm organizing like upwards of 50 people sometimes,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, yes, you hear,
This
you
pair,
hear,
that pair,
you
that
need,
pro- yeah.
and I have a list in my head that I go through, and I need to stay on this list because it's just the way I can make sure that every shot gets done. Anyways, but I thought it would be such a cute idea to have his parents together, them, and her parents together, and do like a photo of everybody's parents. And like, that's so cute, right? So they're like, yeah. So I was like, okay, so you two stand here, you two stand here, you two stand here. And then they're like, okay. And I was like, okay, now put your arms around each other. They're like, okay. Like, they did. And then I'm taking that and I'm like, I'm going to push this, right? So I'm like, okay, and now face each other. And they're like, okay. So they all face each other. And then I was like, okay, now everybody kiss. And this guy was like, this is where I draw the line. We've been divorced for 20 years.
Oh man. I knew where it was going. That's amazing. Yeah, that is
That
funny. That is
is
a question you got to ask
They
now.
have been. They were so cool all day. I had.
And then,
it just
this
like
is where I draw the line.
slipped my mind that perhaps they're not actually together. And so now with planning meetings, I'm like, so
Are they
tell me
together?
your family dynamic.
Yeah,
like I need
please.
to know, like, are they together? Are they not together? Is there like
Separated half sisters,
are
brothers.
They, are they friends with each
steps.
other? Are they not?
Yeah.
Do they kiss? Do they not?
Even if they are married, do your parents
They're
kiss by
divorced?
chance?
Do you guys kiss?
Yeah.
Where do they draw the line?
You asked that after your parents are divorced. Okay, but do they still kiss? Oh, they do.
Are
Okay.
they open to a kiss?
Yeah,
with
they
each other?
open. Yeah, exactly. With that
I
cross
know
the
they're
line.
divorced, but how comfortable are they kissing?
Anything for the shot, right?
Okay.
Because it's your wedding. It's your wedding and they're your parents. Can they
Yes.
kiss for the photo?
Oh my God.
So something you probably obviously sometimes leaving events, like it's later night, sometimes long day, and like sometimes the commute home is sometimes the worst part, where it's just like, holy smokes, I am so fatigued. We experience that a lot. So the two stories I know he's gonna know what story I want him to tell after this, but
Okay.
Driving home, sometimes you have some excitements. Obviously, there's sometimes some like dozing off stuff where you got to wake up. And that is some stories that are like wonderful. One time it was like Crystal City. That's where it was. So that's a good jaunt. They of course went late home, and I'm like I was already sick. I think I'm like I cannot stay awake, and I'm like I wasn't familiar with that way. Like I know of spots.
The amount of small towns leaving at night when you're like, well, I don't.
Well, yeah, like if someone's from like from Clear Lake, if I had to come home, I know where I would like, okay, I'm just gonna get here to stop.
Yeah.
Or if I'm coming east like that, Crystal City through like Treeherne, Somerset, all that. Yes. That's foreign country for me. I have no idea where to stop.
The amount of small towns we have to just go to once that we've never been to before.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I, had no idea where I was going, but I'm just like, I need to pull over. So I literally was just a entrance to like a farm road that I just kind of tucked in off the side of the highway. It was 3 a.m, and I'm like, I just need an hour. Just need an hour of sleep. So hour and a half, maybe, I think I slept. I wake up to a knock on my window. That's always frightening. You're like, oh, it was the farmer. Yeah. It was their house. It's like, hey man, just getting out here. I'm like looking. It's like before 6 a.m. So he's getting a fresh start to the day. As a good farmer does. Apparently on a Sunday morning, wanted to get a good. I look over, like literally his tractor is right there. Oh like come down the lane. He's like, you just him away, man. It's no big deal. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah. But it was just so funny. I didn't realize until I looked. I'm like, goodness gracious, this is a big John Deere. Like, he probably could have just picked my car up and moved it, set it down. But crazy. I was like, holy smokes. Yeah, my bad. I was very awake after that. Thinking I nearly got taken out by a tractor.
Taken out by a tractor.
Yeah.
Hey, better that you did that though.
It was a smart choice in that regard.
Good job.
So is mine the rollover?
No, well, that's happened, but we don't need to tell. That is scary. Yeah. But one that would be funny, a certain one involving Tim Hortons, where you stayed, you said, hey, I maybe need to take a sleep at Tim Hortons in Verdon. This is good.
So wait.
After Sean and Beth's, this story is. I love telling this story. I can tell it, and
go ahead, because I don't remember the whole story.
See. This is what happens when you have so many wedding stories. You forget them. This is incredible. I know the couple that he's going. I said, hey, how'd it go? And he goes, dude, I was so tired. I think it might have been like a couple nights straight of weddings. Like it was on a long weekend or something like that. So they're like Hamiota-ish.
No. Yes, west of Hamiota. What's that town? Starts with a R. Yeah.
Anyways, but you came down like pretty much straight down to Verdon, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, I'm either going to sleep or I'm going to get a coffee. So you get a coffee. Yeah. But before he even gets inside, he falls asleep in the parking lot. So have you ever seen Ronnie park before? This guy, for example, he did close it. Okay, his back, his hatch was open. His hatch was open for at least 40 minutes there. But he parks in like loading zones for longer than he should. And so this guy, in the middle of the night, pulls into the handy.
If you pull up to HOC anytime on a weekday between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., my car is parked in the bus zone.
Yeah. He pulls up and parks in the handicap parking spot. It's whatever. It's 3 a.m., so it's no big deal, right? And he's going to go inside, go to the bathroom, get a coffee. Before he goes in there, he falls asleep. How long were you asleep for, Ronnie?
In the car.
I think in the car. 7 a.m.?
He woke up like 6:30, 7 a.m.
Oh, my God.
He slept like 3 hours. Sitting in there, car running in the handicap spot.
Honestly.
Okay, this is best. He gets up, though. He's like, goes in there, gets up, goes to the bathroom, gets a coffee. He's got to wake up a little bit. He just slept, right? And he's just listen to the coffee, sets his coffee down inside the car, falls asleep again.
Like tired guy.
Till like 8:30. If you're not familiar with the busy times of Tim Hortons, that's exactly what it's busy. This guy's sitting with his vehicle running in the handicap spot, a busy Tim Hortons just snoozing. Dude, just sleeping. He wakes up to text calls from his wife like, where are you? Are you alive? He's just been sleeping for 4+ hours in the Tim's parking lot, car running right in front of the door.
Yeah.
Probably peaceful.
It was until the sunshine at 6 a.m. and it was so bright in there.
But you still slept through it.
I slept through it. Okay, just so you know, the amount of tired stories. Forget Tim Hortons. I would pull up all the way to my driveway.
And fall asleep in the driveway.
I couldn't. By the time I turned my car off and look at my phone for my time, my legs are numb because I've been standing for 12 hours and I sat down for an hour and a half. I couldn't get out of the car. I've fallen asleep in the car till like 8 a.m. Wow. Because I'd pull up at like 4.
Yeah, those are long days.
Dude,
what a healthy lifestyle we live.
I walk into my house at 8 a.m. I walk in, Salemy's like, I saw you sleeping on the camera. I just didn't saw you. Because there's a camera outside. Yeah. The car is there. It's still running.
Safe.
Oh, he's almost safe.
God. I couldn't make myself get out of the car, open the garage, get to my bed. I couldn't do that.
I just love the image of people going for their morning coffee on a Sunday morning, just walking up to Tim Hortons and seeing this guy with the car. You can hear him snoring through the window.
Oh my God.
Dude, my biggest story, because I was tired and it was late. Vovoda, Saskatchewan, August wedding, all the way in Saskatchewan. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes that
Saskatchewan
way.
weddings. And then also the time change in summer for Saskatchewan weddings.
Oh, that's terrible.
Screws it all up.
Terrible.
It's 2 a.m. Just kidding, 3.
So here's what happened. I had a van. I had one of those big cargo vans at that point. And I had all the stuff in there. They had a photo booth, they had DJ, and I had to MC too. So they had all 3. But I was the only one. So I was setting up photo booth, I was running music, I was doing everything. We didn't have a big team then, so I was just me. So I ran a photo booth, I ran sound, I ran MC. Everything was great. The night went great. The couple was happy. I packed up. By the time I leave, the party's done at 2 a.m. Saskatchewan time.
Oh.
By the time I leave, it's 3 a.m. So that's 4 a.m. Manitoba
the shivers that go down my spine. Like, I've been there, and it's just, I just hate that feeling because you're looking, you're like, I'm not getting home until real late.
So, and and by the time I leave, after packing my photo booth, after packing the sound system, it's like 3 a.m. Saskatchewan time, right? I get out of Vovoda. So the map, it's basically south of Mooseman's up there, and then there's Carlisle, I think, or no, Cardiff or something, and then the Vovoda. So it's just, I'm driving straight line. It's a straight road all the way up until Pipestone almost, and then I wanted to go up to Varden or whatnot and then come back. So that was my goal. And funny enough, that day, I thought the wedding was in Mooseman. So I went all the way to Mooseman, and I'm like, God damn it. And I look at my thing, and it's not in Mooseman. Yeah. So I book it 180 down all the way to the wedding. I barely make it about an hour earlier. And then I realized, shit, it's not for another hour. Because it's another hour.
Because it's Saskatchewan time.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Whatever. So it's great time. Good. So that happened, started the day. End of the night, packed everything. Everything went well. Great. Driving back. I am just about to cross the border into Manitoba.
Okay, what time?
4 a.m., 4:15 maybe.
Yep.
So there's this, you can clearly see it on Google Maps too. There's this giant S curve on the road.
Just after Pipestone?
Just before, actually.
Just before, yeah.
So there's this giant turn left and then another turn right. Just the curve in the road, right? About to make that, and again, I'm tired as hell. I'm like, okay, this is how I'm driving. I'm driving. Driving tired is worse than driving drunk or high. It is wildly different. Yeah. And I'm just driving. I'm about to make that curve. Deer out of nowhere, farm jumps in front of me, and my dumbass, instead of turning, because I'm driving this way, I should have turned in the road this way. Could have hit the deer or whatever. I decided to turn right, and it's a 6-foot deep, slopey ditch going down. So now it's like a Fast and Furious movie. I'm driving a 1500 Chevy cargo van on a slant at 108. And because my dumbass was tired, I was I'm like, I should be braking to get it back on. I just hit the gas more.
This is terribly unsafe. This is wonderful.
I am just going. And then I'm like, shit, I got to get up. Now I'm tired, right? And
I got to get back on the road.
Nothing's processing fast enough. I'm like, why is it going still? And then I'm like, okay, let's get on the road. Boom. Now I'm in the middle of the S on the road. Get on the road. But the speed I got on was like 100 kilometers an hour. The whole van hit the tire hit the road, full friction out of the grass into the road. Stopped basically did a 180 on the van, screeching across, went to the other side of the road, hit the sand shoulder of the road, rolled.
Goodness
By
gracious.
yourself.
By myself. And rolled down like 3 times. I'm like, shit, this is happening. And I can tell 1, 2, 3. And I was like, hopefully it stays up. And then it turned, and then it stayed up on all 4. I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm
stayed
processing. I'm processing all of this. Absolutely fine. Seatbelt on and everything.
Your
I
van
had it.
bottle flip.
I still have the monitor that I had because back in the day we didn't have iPads. So I would put a monitor and then there'd be a laptop that ran the photo booth. So that monitor I still have in the back. That monitor was seat belted. That monitor and I were the only thing that was safe that day.
Was it just flying around?
Everything
like,
else just flipped upside down.
man.
Holy crap.
It was all over the place. I had I still remember it's an iPhone 5. So I had it in the cup holder. Phone's missing.
Yeah.
I'm fully parked, like in the ditch, like 7 feet, 8, 10 feet in, on all 4s of the tires. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what broke in my body? I'm like trying to self-assess.
Am I alive?
What's happening? I felt every single part of that. And then I tried, I'm like, hey, seatbelt off, came off. And I look at the car, Christmas tree. Every light possible that could be on is on the dashboard. It's like, okay, let's try to start it. Nothing. Okay, get down. I look up at the roof. There's a dent in the roof. I get down out of the car. I'm walking around. I step back a little bit. I was like, holy shit.
Nobody drives by.
No, not a single person. Now, this is, again, 4:35 in the morning. And then I go back, open to see what else is broken, what's not. Now I'm wide awake, adrenaline pumping. So, like, open the door and then put everything back. I'm like, where's my phone? I'm trying to find my phone because this is everything. Put it back in. Printers everywhere. Wires everywhere. Put it back in, put it back in, put it back in. All of a sudden, from the back, torchlight comes on. You all right there? I was like, what? I thought it was in the middle of nowhere. No street lights. Everything is dark.
Yeah.
And I was falling asleep to understand what was happening. I knew the deer passed, and I was just like, shit. And then everything happened in a split second.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, where's this voice coming? I was scared shitless.
Yeah.
Turn around, and this gentleman, I still remember, I still have his number too. Ken Myers, I literally rolled over in front of his farm. And the house is right there, and I rolled over in front of his farmhouse on the other side. His wife heard it, and his wife was sleeping, and they heard the whole screeching and falling and everything. She woke him up. It's like, something's outside. Something happened. It's like, they must have hit a deer. It's like, no. Like, it's not a deer. Trust me. And then he got up and came out, and then he was like, I was like, what happened? I was like, dude, I missed a deer, got in the ditch, and turned around. Here I am. I was like, are you doing all right? He's like, yeah, I'm doing fine. And then he's like, what happened to the van? I was like, I don't think it's going to work. He's like, okay, cool. Let me go pull up my tractor. I'll pull you out of here. So then he went, pulled the cargo van out, pulled it into his acreage. It was a full barn or like a full farm. And then he had a Quonset there, just parked it right in front of it. And then I found my phone, called, and then I was like, okay, phone's working, nothing's cracked. He's like, so where do you live? I was like, I got to go to Brandon. I got to see if I can have someone come pick me up. And he was like, I'll go drive you. And then, dude, out of the best flex Ken could pull on me at 5:45 in the morning, he pulled out of his garage the brand new 2014 Cadillac.
Nice.
Dude pulled out the most shiniest white leather interior Cadillac
Like, we're going to turn this
possible.
day around.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, Ken, you were packing with that car in here.
There's like a drink. You just having some water. You need anything?
Dude, it was, and then he pulled back, and then now it's like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning because that whole ordeal of him going to get the tractor and everything.
Ken's
took
a
a while.
cool guy.
Like,
We
dude,
like him.
no, dude
Ken
was
saved the day,
dude was the
man.
best. I think, and then he pulled the car out. I called my mom. My mom freaked the fuck out. She thought, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine." And legitimately, not a single scratch on my body, I walked out.
Yeah.
Not like, and for the amount of, in most of the stuff survived. Most of the things that were in there survived. We still use a photo booth printer that was in there to this day. It still worked.
It's one of those things where, like, as crazy as that is, like, if you want to talk moral of the story is, it's just like, hey, like, driving late is unsafe.
I'd like to give you the moral of the story.
Yeah, exactly,
It is perfectly customary to add hotel stay.
100%. And ever since that day, I've carried a pillow with me if it's a long stay. Like if I
you
can
don't need
sleep
a hotel.
anywhere.
You'll just
I just
sleep in
see
your
my
car.
pillow, see my car.
I might need a hotel.
And then
But still,
these days,
yeah, like-
these days now, I tell all of these guys, every single one of them know, if it's late, find a hotel. I'm paying for it. You're staying.
Yes.
Nobody's coming back home.
Yeah.
I had that experience, and I don't want anybody to have it.
Oh,
It's
How are
the
you
worst.
so lucky with these near-death experiences?
Yeah,
have any near-death
I wasn't
experiences?
lucky. My mom fucking let me have it when I got home. She's like, "Why the fuck would you drive? What is this and this?" And since that day, for almost like until my mom went back to India, every year at Christmas there was a gift card and something that went back to Ken's house every year. My mom was just like, "You, why only kid?" And you made sure you came back alive. So it was a good time. I don't know if Ken is still alive, but shout out Ken. Shout out. He was old. He was like 65.
In his Cadillac,
Yeah.
blue sky.
He was 65 at that point. So, and guess what? 8 a.m. entire block or entire like 200-kilometer radius people. Everybody knew what happened because I told him I was at the wedding for so and so in Wovoda. I was like, "Oh yeah, I know them." I'm like, "Of course you do." And then 8 a.m. I'm getting messages from the bride. Like the best man, the groom called me twice, and like everything. And I'm just so by the time he dropped me home, it was like 7:45, and my mom let me have it for 15 minutes, and I went to bed. That was it. And I woke up at like 11:30, and trying to figure out what to do now because all my shit's still there and whatnot. So yeah, and then I'm going through my phone, and it's just everybody messaging, called, and whatever. So everybody knew.
It's funny that, so not that it changes the value of what we do, but it's just so many times, and I try to explain that when we're talking about pricing and we're trying to sell things to people, like it's not just you taking photos for 8 hours that day.
No.
It's the hours of editing. It's the cost of equipment. It's the time getting there. It's the time leaving.
The amount of wood ticks.
It's the amount of
that
wood
I get.
Oh Jesus!
It's climbing through all the exercise that I climb these positions, get all the shots right through trees, this and that. Like all of those things is the stuff that almost is the most value to some extent, right? And that you as a customer or client,
You
like,
don't see any of that.
well, you don't want to see it, and honestly, you don't want to. That's why you should pay a professional to do what you do, like
because they can. And on top of all that is there's no rewind button here, right? There's no let's do this again, let's make this happen again, nothing. So it all has to happen within the time frame you give it and with the preparation we have while maintaining the professionalism and delivering a quality product at the same time because you can't redo this. So it's that fact of how much pressure is involved. And to match that with the talent,
Like if
that we
that
have,
accident happened in the morning or on the way to a wedding, I have no doubt that you still would have showed up at that wedding.
I'll be like, Ken, fucking
Yeah.
pull up your truck, we're loading this in.
We're
going
going.
that way.
Kenny,
Like
Kenny!
100%.
100%.
Is that
There's
like,
no way you can't not be there. Like
you
it
would
is
be there.
You're either dead or you're there. That's it. That's the options you've got.
100%, yes.
So it's and the pressure that's there is primarily why we charge what we charge, is because it's not just the talent, it's not just the 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. It's everything before and after.
Yeah.
100%.
So, yeah. So, funny enough, we had a couple horror stories and car accidents for some reason. but now you're going into this year. You've seen trends across the board. You've seen Pinterest boards galore.
Yeah.
Being a photographer, you've seen brides and grooms with ideas and inspirations differently. But what is that you're looking forward to this year? What does the trend look like in the landscape of photography or wedding photography in general, or in specific, I guess?
I feel like maybe bride, like in couples, are just kind of focusing more on just having an authentic time versus, everybody line up in a row with your perfect, hands nicely, right? I'm feeling like everybody's a lot more just trying to enjoy the moment and get more relaxed, photos. And so I do feel like it's just more personalized versus just it has to be a certain way, right? People are maybe just being more chill about it and trying to really make it suit them.
So it's not like, are they still wanting some posed? Here's my examples of some posed stuff. But,
I mean, like for even those photos that you're like, I don't want anything posed. Well, you don't naturally all stand together in a field. So, right. So it's like, it is posed, and it's like trying to come up with that way. But instead of like, say it just being like a straight solid line of like bridesmaids and grooms, which we would obviously still do. But now it's just like everybody hang out together. Like there's no specific way you need to stand. There's like just have a good time. And then that's kind of the more real type of photos that I think are.
And do you ever give like input, like if, or do people ask like with couples, like in terms of color schemes, ideas, trends? Like, do they say like, what do you think is popular, or what do you like? Do they want or do you kind of, how hands-on are you with that? It really
depends. Like I've been kind of on both sides. Like sometimes they just know exactly what they want and they just let me know this is the color scheme and all that kind of stuff. But also like I feel like we can be as close as that they want to. So I'm totally available. If they're like, what color should I pick for my bridesmaids? But like it's gone as far as like, what date should I pick for my wedding? Many times, it's actually a common thing. Just April 12th, I did a wedding and she's like, what do you think about like a spring wedding? And then I ended up going on to my galleries and like pulling photos that I've taken on every date of the year, like from previous years, from the last 5 years. I'm like, this was March 20th, right? This was the end of April. So
that's cool.
Yeah, right.
That is cool.
That was Aaron and Bryce's. Yeah.
Yes, I like to tell people like you can like treat me like a bridesmaid. Like I just love to know all the things, and then we can kind of.
And we don't necessarily get like. We did a spring wedding, and guess what? People still dance to Sweet Caroline. They still loved it. It was there's only so much that we can do in that, but for like there's so much styling and there's lots of different stuff.
Because when you pick decor, when you pick style, when you look at it, people sort of, and especially I can't do that, but I feel like brides in general can sort of picture it in their head so easily.
And like when they choose their photographer, they kind of have like they've seen my whole portfolio and they kind of want that vibe or whatever, right? And so like if they're like, well, what color doesn't work? And like with editing, as you guys know, like specific colors are great for some edits and not great for other edits. And so like for my style and my brand, like in the summertime when everything's green, red is not my favorite color to edit. So if she asked me that, what if I do all red? And I'm only like, well, if you like the way that this looks and like the general like feel, it's not going to be that color. Right. I don't care what people do though.
That's such a cool like value. Right, that
like
people
with
also
my
don't
editing,
know.
Like, does this color work with my editing?
Well, with your editing, with like just your experience in general, like knowing venues, knowing all those things, right? Like you already are gonna have an idea based off if someone tells you their wedding is at Oakland Estate.
Yes.
If their wedding is at Danceland, you already have like lighting things.
Oh, for sure.
Right, and that is so valuable, right? Yeah. We did a wedding not too long ago. That was a bit of a last minute thing. They're super chill, so they'd be okay with us saying this.
Megan
and Reed. They were like, our photographer fell through. Fell through. So we're gonna do we got disposable cameras at all the tables, and like we're gonna do that. But like it was just like I'm like, guys, you guys want pictures? Well, we got someone who's gonna have a video camera there. I'm like, can we help you guys out? So I asked Annie. I'm like, hey, let's do it like a bare bones. Just so you can make sure. That. But anyways, that venue. So that was the rec center in Ononol.
Oh, okay.
Just lighting was like, and we actually have 2 more weddings there this year. And from what she learned there, it's like, okay. Like she still took some awesome photos, but was able to know like I need to have like one of the like a room flash. Like it's just that it's so dark in there, and I gotta have like just different things that you I don't know. Some things you're gonna need at some places, some things you're not gonna need at others.
Yeah, and like that's
different types of lenses.
The venue makes such a difference. So, for example, like if a bride is like, I just imagine these bright, light, like breezy type of photos.
Lens.
Oh,
Flash,
but
all the
I'm
different
going
things.
to book like a all wooden hall, and
Yeah.
it's like you're just never
Never
going
gonna
to
get
get that
Yeah.
type of.
And setting that expectation at the start of it is important because they've
Yes.
got a different picture in their head based on what they see,
It's
and then
so-
it's not
Right.
going to work like that because you know what that's going to work like. They don't.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing that, okay, this place is going to look like this. This place
Yeah.
is going to look like this. Right?
And having
So-
that, like I said, an equation right that. Like you're talking about these things and you're already having ideas and visions of what those pictures are going to look like. You haven't even met the people, right? And you're just like, okay, it's going to be, I'm thinking bright this, I'm thinking that. I'm going to have these lenses, this camera, whatever. Oh, and then then there's a hard stop. You're like, what? An all wood dingy cabin style is
Been
not.
there.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
been there.
Right? You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I see your vision. That's exciting for me. I have
Yeah.
such ideas.
Yeah.
This is and that is also value, like above beyond the pictures, beyond the music, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Experience is just so crazy that that people don't always think about. So
Right.
yeah.
Cool.
Because most people don't go to a lot of weddings, right? Like 10 maybe
Yeah.
in their adult life, and we go to a lot of weddings, so we can kind of see like what works or what's cool or that venue's cool, and like
Yeah.
So.
What's something that people, when they try to book a photographer, they have no idea about that you try to educate them on?
Oh, that's really cool. Maybe timeline. Can I say that?
Sure.
Most people don't really know
Yep.
when they should do things, like when we should have people starting, when. So that's my passion is making
Yes.
wedding date timelines. My wedding date timeline is so good. It's like tried and true. It's every time like and I'm not even really like a type A type
Right.
of person
Right.
or in any way.
Right.
Very type B. Kind of when it comes to a wedding day though, like I just like to have that written out. I like to have a plan.
Yeah.
But then we just are cool from there, right?
Right.
As long as we kind of have a general idea. But yes, I love making timelines so that, you should have your hair and makeup done before the photographer arrives, right? And lots of people don't realize that because then we're kind of utilizing that time to like just get going
Right.
with photos.
Right.
So, yeah.
Cool.
I like-
Other than that, anything else you want to add that we haven't talked about?
I don't know. I
Have you talked about Coachella yet?
That is a whole
Is that
other episode.
another thing?
That's a
Okay,
whole other
yeah. Stay
episode.
tuned for that episode 30.
So okay, cut this out. But no, the goal was to talk about Coachella for episode 29 because it's closer, and then Stacey was going to be on the next episode. So I'm going to have to redo the intro. Welcome to episode 30 of for
Whatever.
Part of the Podcast.
Who
and then
cares?
29. So I can do that. Too.
Wait.
Yes. Is that what your next one is?
Nah,
Coachella?
yeah,
You
it's
know,
gonna
let's
be.
talk
That's
about-
why I wore everything I bought
I know
there.
I'm just like seeing
So
it. all.
that's
No, I
why-
think we keep it this way, and people will just be like on edge. They're like, wait, why is he wearing
It's
a Coachella
kind of
stuff?
excited. Like I'm excited to listen to the Coachella.
Yes.
I'm
It-
sad
it
you're not
is.
going to tell me anything.
Well, it was fun. It was definitely fun. You'll hear it on the podcast because it's just primarily I want to talk about like the whole production part of it. But yeah, got it until that
It's a
point.
big, but I always end my episodes wondering if our guests have a unique way of saying coffee. I have one myself that I always mention, but yeah, do you have a unique way of saying coffee, or like, are you a coffee drinker?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And
So Starbucks or homemade or
yeah, what's your coffee order?
What is my coffee? I'm actually okay. So I have been a major coffee drinker for like my whole life,
Okay.
and only recently I'm starting to drink less caffeine. So,
Yes.
However, I do have my morning home coffee, so
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
Yes.
I do have that. And then I do love Starbucks, and I kind of switch it up. Like I love a brown sugar shaken espresso.
that
That's
thing.
kind of a
That thing will wake you up.
go-to. Yeah.
Nothing will wake you up.
Yeah, and I actually love all coffee. I love lattes,
Yeah.
like everything. So
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's an all-encompassing, just a big.
But
cup of
I can't. No caffeine in a day. 200 milligrams of caffeine at the very least, or else I can't function. It is. I've seen it happen. Like when I'm not had coffee, I'm like,
Yeah.
brother, this is taking forever. And then coffee is just a brand new
it's
person.
just the amount. Like I just was stopping all the time, and my husband's like, "Okay, you need to stop."
Starbucks, is
Like,
I'm
making
buying
stops.
Starbucks all
Yeah,
the
if we want to
time.
call it, yeah.
Stephen will tell you it was like, I bet she's at Starbucks right now.
And the worst thing is when you have a 16-year-old too, and she's like, "Mom, Starbucks. I'm like, yes. And
Like,
then-
if you want to say unique ways of saying coffee, it's just like the rescheduler. Like, it just changes your whole day. Changes your whole day.
right?
But
Before you hit the road, like before you hit the highway, you gotta grab coffee first, right?
Coffee.
Yeah.
100%. You gotta go get groceries. You gotta get a coffee.
Oh wait, yeah,
first.
there's coffee first. Yeah, but
co-
first
you
can't
can't
do
walk
anything.
into
But
the grocery
first,
store without-
coffee.
Yeah.
But first, coffee. Well, you can't
first-
go out into the grocery store without the Starbucks cup. It doesn't. That's why Sobeys has a Starbucks inside the
Ah,
store.
yes, they
You know
got
what
you.
I'm
It's so convenient.
saying?
I was there today, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta stop at Tim's on your way to Starbucks on your way to bam, bam,
On
bam.
the way to Sobeys.
Perfect.
You already spent like $12 before you get to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, hey, that's really cool to have you on.
That was
You,
fun.
Thank you for
Yeah.
coming. Ladies and gentlemen, Stacy Gabriel, where can they find you?
On Instagram, Stacy Gabriel Photography, StacyGabriel.com.
Woo, 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 woo.
Bye-bye.
You have a young son. Are you familiar with the movie Cars?
Yes.
And do you know what Lightning McQueen says every time? He says, "Ka-chow."